So since we had technical difficulties, we're going to just go through this astrology, then go through this tarot and explain this energy very clearly without any interruptions. I'm sorry that we couldn't do this live, but if you feel any feedback, any comments, any questions to this video, please comment in the descriptions as your response or feelings towards this video. And so I'm going to jump straight into the astrology. And so this is the daily energy reading for today. Today I had a lot of technical difficulties with going live, so I'm just going to record it and upload it for the family. And so we've been talking about Mars going through the sign of Capricorn this week. 2 days ago we talked about Saturn, and the day after that we talked about Pluto. And so the conversation with Pluto, it was kind of like a left turn and kind of a difficult conversation. The energy was kind of dark and kind of like whatever, but it really had a goal to it. It had more of a overall goal, and really the deep stuff is where we get our true deepness, where we get our true revelations from. We don't get revelation from the surface, how we look, the things that we acquire, the things that we have, our surface things, our physical life. We don't get any joy from that, as to say we get joy from really overcoming our trauma, really overcoming our really overcoming the lostness. So as opposed to now, as we begin to talk with we begin to talk about Mars, the moon conjunct Mars. This is a very interesting time, a very interesting energy, as we can see. Mars situated in the third decan of Capricorn, where it's really speaking of perfection and acting in perfection. So like, we all have a perfect, we all can be perfect, we all simply are perfect, but our understanding of perfect may be skewed a little bit. Because when you deal with Mars, you deal with action, but you also deal with the root of the action, or what causes the action. And 9 times out of 10 is the word. So what are the words that you are speaking into existence? This represents how to actually be on the level where you are able to be perfect by saying the perfect words, having the perfect intentions, understanding the perfect things to say in the perfect moment. And so as the moon comes into conjunction of Mars, what are you saying? How are you saying it? Why are you saying it? Because do you not understand that this energy is highly creative and highly informative and highly responsive to what you say and how you feel? And if you feel a certain way, and if you can't shake that feeling, then there's some deeper stuff that needs to take place. Because if you can't even say the positive things, if you can't even say the perfect things, then that's a major block. Let alone doing it. How do you expect to do something without saying something, without intending something purposefully? And so as the moon conjuncts Mars, what is your purpose? And then this energy squares Uranus. And so Uranus is about changes. So as we begin to examine the things that we speak into existence, are we allowing those changes in our lives to incorporate our intentions? Are our intentions the same intentions as we had since high school? To get that Ferrari, to get that mansion, to get that dream lover, and to ride off in the sunset? Or have we, examined our psychology and looked at ourselves into the world and then made our intentions based on that? See, I think that a lot of us have intentions, but we haven't examined our intentions thoroughly, as opposed to why. And that is the square. If you don't know why your intention is something, you can intend something all day long and you'll never get it. I can intend all day long that I want to be with Tyra Banks, but I'll never get her. It's just not, it's not a why for me. I don't have no purpose to want to be with Tyra Banks. It's just a name that just popped up in my head. So it's just like, you know, if we're gonna intend something, make sure that it's just not some shit that's just popping up in your head. And you're like, oh, I want that. And then you set your intentions on wanting it and you don't even know why you want it. So when we deal with intentions and we deal with Mars energy, it really deals with the form of purpose and examining your psychology and getting out of that high school mentality. So, and we deal with Mars and the sun in conjunct, Mars and the moon in conjunct the sun. We're discussing raising our vibration, raising our form of thoughts and understanding. So if you are simply living life on a normal level, you begin to live life on a super normal level. If you are living life on a natural level, you begin to live life at a supernatural level. So when you have people in your life, say people from high school, you have created more of a skewed type of relationship to those people, more of like they have been cropped out of your life in such a way because you have elevated your way of thought to the supernatural. So you can't feel bad about it. You have to understand that if truth is what you're after, if you want to look at life at a microscopic level and really look at the fine details and expanding your view, because Sun is moving into Virgo. So Virgo is really dealing with the energy behind things, or the what is it? The big picture. As opposed to some detail where you're in the world, but you got problems in your relationship, you hate your coworkers, but you know all the fancy hot, whether it's religion or consciousness or any form of spirituality, if it's not showing up in every walk of your life based upon your expanded view as the sun goes into Virgo, then you're just being subjective. And soon as that subject is run its course, then now what? Creating a holistic view of the world and understanding that our visible light spectrum is very minute. There are telescopes, there are microscopes that allow us to see more of the world. That means that with these two eyes, we do not see everything. So we have to begin to look deeper. And if you can't afford a microscope and you can't afford a telescope, then maybe you just need to meditate and look deeper into yourself, and don't sleep on the details. Don't sleep on the big picture, because that is going to save you, not your subjective fears, your subjective worries. Supernatural, not natural, supernatural. And so finally, this energy is sextile Chiron in Aries. And so we have to be the first person to heal ourselves. We have to be on it to heal ourselves. If we're not the first person to heal ourselves, then we're relying on somebody else to heal ourselves for us. Maybe I can heal you, maybe I can't. Maybe I can't reach you. Maybe you don't understand what I'm talking about, but maybe you're going through deep pain. First of all, it's not my responsibility to heal you in your life. I want to, but it's not my responsibility. If you choose not to be healed, if you choose to focus on toxic energy, then that's your choice. So you have to understand that it's your responsibility. It's not about watching YouTube. It's about the things that you do. It's not about watching anything or seeing anything or relating to anybody when it comes to hurt and pain, because you've experienced it, you've held on to it, and it's become toxic in your life. So you can continue to hold on to it and continue to value it and make it be something, or you can begin to process it and let it go. Talk about it, get clarity, understand it, move forward. Don't be triggered. So I want to deal with the energy of today, because today is a day. Today is a holiday in ancestry. To be born on this day is like a real thing, actually. Like being born on Christmas, in a sense. Because there's Vulcanalia and then there's Saturnalia, which is Christmas. But Vulcanalia is something different. This is a day to honor the boy king or the boy god. Vulcan is the god of beneficial and hindering fire. Last night I went to sleep with just reading this and studying this. I just went to sleep with like filled with flames of energy. Just like that's all I could really think about as I went to sleep. And I didn't think about fire in a sense of like being afraid of it. I just, as much fire as I could create, I tried to create. Because I realized that fire as an element just represents energy to do shit. And that's what I need right now. I need fire. There's more shit that I need to do. And this year is going to be my year of fire as I turn 34. So, understanding Vulcan. Vulcan is a Roman name. So any type of Roman deity has a history, and that history comes from Greece. But any Greece deity has a history, and that history comes from Africa. Okay? So when we talk about Vulcan, of course there's this Roman face to this god, but without the African volcanoes or Volcaros from Crete, a Minoan god, then you don't have Vulcanalia. So this is more to the ancient, historic, not even historical, but ancient mythology. When they talk about this energy, they say primal, or the origin, the source. And this is what the energy that I identify with. You could understand Vulcanalia, but that's a distortion. Hephaestus is someone who shines by the day. He's someone who works every single day, and through his working every single day, he creates gifts for the goddess. He works for the goddess. His mother, he was birthed by the goddess, and he sat at the bottom of the ocean or the bottom of a volcano, and he just worked every single day. Really speaks to my energy, because I'm extremely consistent in whatever I do. If I want to make it work, and if I want to make it good, then the only thing that I say to myself is, okay, I'll do this every day. This is just me. Like, this is the only way that I know how to be good at something. I don't know how to initially be good at anything. I just know how to work at something every day. And then by so long, I may look up and I'm better at people who probably been doing this shit for 28 years. And this is just anything that I've ever tried to do in my life. And so he's the young god, the master of fire, and the companion of the great goddess. My work is based upon honoring the great goddess, because if you look up the great goddess hypotheses, that is the hypotheses that said that the world primarily honored the great goddess before this patriarchal monarchy system ever was invented. So for millions upon billions of years, we naturally honored the great goddess the same way as we say God the Father, thank you, Jesus. We did the same thing with the great goddess. And me, I just naturally do that. Because I represent this energy, I was born on this day. So if you understand this energy, and if you want to get an understanding of this energy, make sure you look up Vulcanalia, Velcaros, Hephaestus, Kuros, Zeus Velcaros. If you need spellings on those, please feel free to comment or just Google it. They'll spell check it for you. So but I will share the links if you're interested in understanding this energy. And I feel as though if you understand this energy, maybe you can understand me. Or if you know somebody that's born on August 23rd, like Tierra Non-Human Graphics, like she's the same way in a different sense. And I've met plenty of people who've had my birthday, and we relate to each other in the same way. We're different people, we have different experiences, but whatever we choose to do, we really work towards it. And from working towards it, we find the beauty in it. The beautiful struggle. And so I just wanted to explain the energy for today. And since today is the day that I was born, and I actually was born under this energy, I thought that I could bring it to light. And then maybe you could understand me, because I am, well, Vulcan or Hephaestus or Vulcarius or Chorus. He is my name is Kyrie too, which is interesting. He is and this is the same energy through different path, like different lifetimes. So just in this lifetime, it's called Vulcan, but in different lifetimes, it was called Chorus or Hephaestus or Vulcanus or Vulcaros or whatever. And so what he represents is the god of fire, but he could be a beneficial fire and also a hindering fire. But he also is a god of initiation through energy. And so this is all I'm trying to do, is to initiate people into doing what they need to do and building up their fire within them and giving them the energy to initiate their own shit. So that's the energy. As we begin to expound on we expounded on astrology. Now we're going to expound on the cards of the day. And so we have the Four of Cups, the Five of Discs, and the Tower. And so we've been talking about Mars today. And so the Tower is represented by Mars. And we've been talking about the Moon today. And the Four of Cups is really represented by the Moon, right? And so what we have here is this moment being full of wealth, but in the middle is the Five of Discs, and that is the worry, and that is the negative thinking, and that is the nightmares, and that is the ability to dive deep into that negative thinking without examining the wealth in this moment. And if you cannot find wealth within yourself, then that is your problem. You need to develop that wealth. You need to cultivate that wealth. You need to start. You gotta start somewhere. And wealth is in this moment. Wealth is in your imagination. Wealth is in these ideas. What life do you want to create? Okay, how can you begin to start that life in this moment? Because if you do not act in this way, you will enter into the Tower zone. And nobody likes the Tower zone. Everybody cries and it's like, my life is getting torn down and I don't want it to be, and I'm attached to this. But you didn't intend to change it, and change is the law of the land. So change your life now in the moment and realize the wealth that is within you and bring it to the surface if you having any financial problems. If you ain't having no financial problems, then figure out another way to cultivate this talent and do something without any financial aspiration. Just paint or something. Just do something. If money's not your problem, but you still feeling a certain type of way, then do something. Do something. Take a walk. Take a trip. So the bottom tier is really speaking to the energy for the day. Like the top tier was speaking to the astrology. The bottom tier is really speaking to the energy of Vulcanalia. Now, y'all know this channel. Y'all know I don't just set this stuff up like this on purpose, because I'm not that smart. And this is the reason why I do tarot, is because I'm not that smart and I need some help with this stuff. And so this is how the layout is of understanding this Chorus or this Hephaestus or this Vulcanalia or this Vulcanalia energy. You have to begin to realize life from your senses. And if your senses are not clear, then you're not seeing things correctly. You're seeing things through trauma. You have to be clear. You have to search for clarity because your senses are everything. And if you find yourself in a difficult situation, remember those times that you had positive situations. Remember the cycles of life. Remember that everything that goes down must come up. Life works in cycles. Life does not work on a straight line. And with that in mind, you can really tap into this goddess energy that's available. As long as the earth is here, her energy is here, but are you tapping into it? Because I'm sure the people that are grounding, the people who are focusing their energy are not feeling the type of way that, you know, brings about worry. And I'm not talking about grounding for a purpose. I'm talking about grounding because it's like breathing. It's normal to do. And sometimes you can't get in nature. But this house that you live in, this apartment that you live in, is an illusion within itself. So you can ground anywhere. I understand you may not be able to leave the house. I understand you may not be around any nature. But you're always around the goddess. The goddess is always connected to you, but are you able to connect with her? Are you open to her? Are you open to receive this energy, or are you not even aware that the goddess fully exists and that's available to you? So, and I don't want to see it like boy and girl. I'm just talking about real life stuff. I came out of a vagina, so that would mean the macrocosm of the microcosm of the macrocosm must mean that up there must be the same type of energy, the same type of womb that's doing all of this stuff on a larger scale. This is how I even came to this earth today, was through a vagina. I wouldn't be here without a vagina. So therefore, all of my energy, all of my goodwill, all of my time and energy is focused onto that which I've been created from. And my deepest gratitude is to that shit. Not no God the Father. That's weird. Because my daddy wasn't there all the time. So when you deal with this goddess energy, when you deal with your clarity, when you realize that everything is everything and you can really make some major changes in your life, today it might seem impossible, but when it's done, it won't. But you got to be every day with it if you really want it. If you're not willing to work at it every day, then you don't really want it. You think you want it. So really pay attention to the things that you can focus on every day, that you can cultivate on. This astrology channel, this work, I can do it every day because I want to do it every day. I want to. It's easy. I want to do it. Even when I'm blocked, or even when the signal is low, or whatever the case may be, I still want to do it. So figure out something that you want to do that's going to make you happy, that's going to bring this life to you however you want it to be, but make sure it's something that you want to do every day. And I just want to apologize for my connection and, you know, the way that these things was, or if this message resonated with you, if this message was powerful, then you can understand why the energy is the way that it is. So I appreciate y'all patience with me, and hopefully this upload reaches you in good space and good energy, and we can move from there. Like I said, any comments, any questions or anything towards these videos, please let me know within the comments. And then from there, what else I would like to say? Not really going to talk about the readings or anything like that, because, you know, these next 2 weeks, next 3 to 4 weeks, honestly, my family is going through a lot, and not in a negative way. In a positive way, some shifts and transitions and things like that. So I am open to doing readings because, you know, I like to do readings, but, you know, the more time that I have to invest in my family, the better. So, you know, if you are interested into a reading, please, like, let me know. But, you know, if it can wait, until the end of September, that'll be awesome too, because I'm gonna still be here. I'm gonna still be doing this work regardless. Still trying to do these daily energy readings as much as I can. But there'll be a time between now and the end of September where I won't be able to do these daily energy readings. But that doesn't mean that I'm stopping it or something's happened. It just means that me and my family are going through some things that, you know, require my full attention. And so that's all. So peace to everybody who listened to this message and waited for this message. Peace to y'all. And hopefully this helps you throughout your day.